Natalism is the prevailing philosophy on planet Earth. That's why I follow it and live by it. I'm a conformist. The nail that sticks out gets nailed down, as the Japanese proverb says. I prefer not to get hammered down. I want to do what everyone else is doing and never question it. My parents had children, and their parents had children, so I have children. It doesn't matter to me that there is no logical reason for doing it. It's better to do what the TV says to do. And this tells me, and this tells me, and they tell me. It's so much easier not to question. That's also why I eat animal flesh and encourage my children to do so as well. If I stopped eating meat, eggs, and dairy, then my parents would think I disapproved of their lifestyle. I don't want that. Animals may be tortured to death for my habit, but it's not happening to me, so why should I care? Eating animals helps me fit in better. And if I teach my children my same habits, then they won't be in a place to judge me. I like to pretend that I am superior to all other humans and non-humans on Earth. After all, if I were a plantation owner 150 years ago, I wouldn't question my superiority over inferior subhumans. It was written in the law that I was superior, so why would I question that? I would have my fun and it'd be perfectly legal. I am lucky to live in a time when I can create sensitive, sentient life and abuse it with no repercussions. In fact, I've been thinking about becoming a polygamous Mormon and having 20 kids if I feel like it, and no one could stop me. Well, I can't really afford 20 kids, and that would make me a bit of a nail that sticks out too much, so I decided to stop at 3. It gives me that family man reputation that I like. If I ever wanted to run for political office, I would make sure to use my kids to show how good of a person I am. Look, I have 3 kids. I must be a good politician. I like that I will never be held accountable for the death of my child, even though I personally set it in motion. I essentially committed premeditated murder and got away with it. But not only that, the thing about my crime is that I only light the fuse, and multiple crimes unfold over the years and decades. I have created biological machines that create more biological machines. My machines will reproduce into the future, hundreds or even thousands of new victims. The killing will go on after I am gone. My gift of suffering will continue long after my death. It makes me feel immortal. If my creation displeases me, or if I'm just in a violent mood, I can strike my child across the face and slap their behind to my heart's content. I can deprive them of food and stimulation. I am their king, their pope, their God. I get to tell them when to sleep, when to wake up, when to jump, and how high. My child-free neighbors will be forced to pay for my creation's education, socialization, and daycare. I might use this free service provided by taxpayers, but they don't teach children about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in school, so I may homeschool them instead. I can freely indoctrinate my pet human into nonsensical, unprovable credulity that will only harm them later in life. I know this, but my parents did it to me, so I'll continue the tradition of faith over facts, logic, and evidence. If I was an atheist, I wouldn't fit in, so it's easier to believe in or pretend to believe in fairy tales. Why wouldn't I take advantage of the large number of extra rights and privileges I get as a parent? If I were a breeder of chimpanzees, I wouldn't be allowed to take money from my neighbor's paycheck to feed it. But if I breed Homo sapiens, I get to steal money from my child-free neighbors. They have no choice but to support my breeding program. Do you think I for one second consider, or care about the real price tag of my fun? Fuck no! I understand and accept that my creation will have to deal with unrequited love, wage slavery, compulsory education, conscription, and taxation. I'm fine with that. The person I create will have to deal with the possibility of going to prison, being raped, becoming an orphan, being unemployed and destitute. I'm fine with that. After all, I'll be dead for half of their life anyways. My death will most likely leave a huge void in their existence, and I like that too. I want to be missed and to be worshipped. I want my child to cry over me and wish for me to live again. No matter what relationships I have in my life, this one that I imposed will be the one that I have the most control over. This person will never, ever forget me. I will make sure of that. I will be a good God. But if I'm not, if I feel like being a cruel God, well, you can't stop me. I can ruin my creation's self-esteem so easily. They will never measure up to me, I can make certain of that. I will work on it every day. I chose not to show my children in this video because I like to present a faux concern and vacant but righteous anger if anyone questions how much I care about my child's welfare. So I won't show them like those parents who profit off of their children on YouTube. They have a legal right to monetize their creation, which some say is questionable ethically, but not me. I'm a good parent. I just won't so blatantly exploit my child, just the traditional exploitation that occurs behind closed doors. Does that mean that I'll have saved enough money to put my kid through college or provide them with a safety net in case there are no jobs in 20 years? Of course not! I don't even have enough money saved to pay for a single medical emergency. I have to put myself first. I earn my money, and it's my money, not some whiny brat's money. I'll pay for their food while they're living with me, but once they're 18, they're not my financial burden anymore. I can legally kick them out on the street, and they can become society's problem. That's why we have taxpayer-funded police, courts, and prisons. They will take care of the giant sloppy shit I took on the world. My child can live in jail or a homeless shelter if they can't figure out this conformist life game. And I'm fine with that. It may make me look bad to have a child in prison, but I can also use them to gain sympathy for myself. If my child is killed violently, then I'll get even more sympathy and attention. Yes, I'm the one who created the victim, so really everything bad that happens to my child is my fault. But when the bad things happen, I actually get positive attention. I can go on TV and say, "No parent should have to bury a child. They're supposed to bury me." And people watching will say, "Oh, that poor parent." It's not their fault. Essentially, I have a glib, creepy indifference to the suffering of others. That is why I eat eggs and cheese and feel no pangs of guilt or remorse, or entertain even a thought about how that food was made. Animals are indifferent. I'm an animal. Therefore, I should be indifferent. Benjamin Franklin said so when he broke vegetarian and went back to eating meat. So, I'm in good company. Vegan, atheist, anti-natalists are the ones in the minority. My philosophy is the dominant one and has been for thousands of years. You are the weak, pitiful minority. Your ethics are repulsive to us, the breeding majority. How dare you judge me for doing what I am legally entitled to do? Might makes right to the simple-minded, and I'm happy to live in a simple-minded world of unlicensed exploitation. But, if I can be a little less defensive for a moment, having kids in this lifestyle called raising a family was so talked about and encouraged by my parents, friends, relatives, and culture that I felt like I had to do it. That's why I also believe in Jesus Christ, even though he's basically just a comic book character. If I don't, I will be an outcast, and I don't want that. It'll take someone stronger than me to create change in the world. I think that if you want to change things for the better, then you'll need to change the culture and be vocal proponents of your own lifestyle. Remaining silent is the same as giving approval for what I do. And I will keep on doing it. My creation will be indoctrinated into natalism, carnism, and theism. Unless unless they find a viable alternative philosophy to live by. And I ask you, how will they find it if no one is speaking it? If you say nothing, if you do nothing, if you stand for nothing, then I will win, and natalism will win. And I'm fine with that. Do you think I for 1 second consider or care about the real price tag of my fun? Fuck no! Fuck to the no.